health benefit, and pension. So let's give him
I wish I was white.
pension benefits and no, you cool the way you are. Let's give you a stack of money. You got pension and benefits, and you got some money for being assistant manager. So let's talk to the white wife. You must be happy, right?
You know, you got to mention part when they came back, even the white veteran came back, the reason they had to do all of this retraining and restructuring is because when they came back, their jobs were already filled by people that had taken their place while they were overseas. When they came back, they had nothing to come back to. So they were equally discriminated against. The veteran itself, very white veteran themselves, they had cause for a lot. They were no longer economically viable. They had to be retrained in other types of employment that they were not used to.
It's a good point, right? I mean, it shows you the nuances, right? Like, this is a general story, it's just capturing kind of the generalities, and there's nuances to that. But let's hear how the guy's coming back from World War II. Let's hear about that competition for job and what was the dynamics it was creating, even amongst your own home. Because as all the men came back from the war, they want their jobs back. We're hearing that them jobs ain't there anymore. People are getting retrained. But also, who's got to go? Who's got to give up their jobs? Right? White man, white woman. Who's going to win out?
Hey, you're not taking my drinks from me.
So, you got fired from your job at the shipyard. Come on. You gotta give back the peaceably. Yeah. You gotta give it back. You got somebody who's waiting to give it to you too. And you are now a homemaker. Hey, wait a minute. Hey. Put on your apron.
That's a good color on you.
So with my African American husband, you also get free job training under the GI Bill. So where's my, right here? Don't trip on this. So you also get free job training under the GI Bill. In fact, you get the same training as your white husband. So maybe you can be an assistant manager too.
Wait. Which one's talking? Either way, right?
But guess again, because of discrimination, you can only get a job on the factory floor. You can get a job on the factory floor. You're on the factory floor, right? So the company is unionized, right? Which is a good thing. The company is unionized, but it's a whites only union. Remember, this is late 40s, early 50s. A lot has changed. We're back there. So you can't join it, which means that your pay is less, you don't get benefits, and you don't get a pension. How does that make you feel?
After the war, I was hoping to get a job as an assistant manager, but the only job I could get was on the factory floor. I wanted to join the union, but they told me that it was whites only. With the pay I get, and without any benefits, I'm barely making enough to pay the bills.
Because your husband isn't making that money, you need to keep working. You got fired from the railroad, and the only job you can get is looking after someone's children, even though you got a high school diploma. So. Give the baby some love, man. Give the baby some love.
Are you a nanny?
Babies need love too.
A male nanny?
So let's take a pause here and let's ask some questions. What's the impact on this family of having jobs like that? What happens if you don't have health benefits? And this is for everybody. Please, someone share.
You're going to turn to illegal enterprises in order to supplement your income.
Oh my God.
Or if you don't have insurance, maybe lose your home. There's a catch
Did you guys hear that? Catastrophic illness, lose your home, paying all them hospital bills. Can you save up much money with these jobs? Can you save enough to send your kids to college? To buy a home? We're about to retire. What if you want to go on strike, or get sick, or become unemployed?
We're not gonna use it. You go on strike, you get out of job.
So let me ask you all this. How do you or your kids get better jobs?
Education.
How about let's talk to the white husband. How does your kid get a job?
See?
You're the manager. Through connections. Think about some of the jobs you've had. How have you gotten your jobs? Not all of us got jobs through Craigslist or Monster.com. Right? Networking, your social network. So most people get jobs through networking, not Craigslist ads. But in the black community, you don't have as many networking contacts. Clearly you don't have an assistant manager to hook you up. Are you satisfied with your jobs and opportunities? What happens to your self-esteem?
You get blacklisted.
So historically in the U.S., working and middle-class people have accumulated wealth from only two sources: pensions and their home. So to my African-American family, you own a home, but because of discrimination, you don't have pensions. So you're denied one of the major avenues to accumulate wealth. Let's talk about urban investments in the 1950s. So in the 1950s, housing advocates got federal government to pass urban renewal legislation. Who's heard of urban renewal before? Yeah. Does someone want to help me out? Just go ahead. Someone, urban renewal. What's the first thing that comes to mind?
Tear down old housing and build nice and new places.
Making the urban city better, bringing something that's needed and wasn't there.
Go to the inner city and tear out, the slums and build new stuff.
So during that time, right, it was meant to improve the lives of poor people by tearing down the slums, exactly what you're saying, and building better housing, or giving them money to move to better neighborhoods. What happened instead was that city planners tore down any housing in the way of their downtown development. And very few people got better housing in their own or another neighborhood. Our African American family, your community, it's not rich, it's not wealthy, but it's not a slum. It's thriving, working class community. But the city has decided to tear down a lot of the neighborhood to make way for better development. So it calls the neighborhood blighted. Ding, ding, ding. Extra wontons for you.
We got a question.
Spanish translation for blighted.
Como un escenario malo. No es como
There's
barrio.
no point I was going to say that.
Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
So don't forget to tell everybody about the newly developed separation of economics called sports teams. Sporting teams. In the late 1950s, many sport teams were developed, redeveloped, rezoned for that matter, and they further reduced, they further separated the haves and the have-not by making
Yes, they do.